call your secretary and be like, hey, go make me a reservation at the range. My wife.
I'll tell you what,
I'm gonna get cream while you're.
I'm live right now, so I don't want to throw out any names, but I've dealt with that before, where you deal with a secretary, and then they got to ask questions, and they got to call you back, and then they call you back and say, well, his answer was this. Okay, well, now what about that? Let me call him, and I'll find out, and I'll get back to you. If you have a secretary to do all your bidding, it ain't that easy. It might sound that easy, but it ain't that easy. Be nice to your secretary. Pay them stupid well. Brooke, good morning. Elizabeth.
William, I'm sorry.
I don't think you are. I think you don't really care about
Friday.
my feelings.
I have to remind myself of your feelings.
Oh boy, this makes me
hilarious.
nervous.
Why?
Well, just because you're moving stuff over here, and this, I don't
Isn't that
trust.
what I'm supposed to do?
Yes, but I don't trust this cup.
Supposed to?
All right. Good freaking morning, all you awesome people. Welcome to Friday.
You don't want your lid?
A very
You want me to throw it away for you?
yes. Throw it in the garbage. Not that garbage. This one over here.
Oh, too late.
No, take it out of the garbage and put it over there.
Dig through the garbage?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a really funny story about garbage.
Oh boy. JC, good morning.
Oh, good. I have family members on here too,
Yes,
so they'll appreciate
they're
this.
the only ones here. Just your family.
Because they're awesome. Hi, Dad. Hi, Johnny. JC, sorry. So my youngest son Ben.
This is hysterical.
Yeah, my youngest son Ben. He was probably 4, I guess. I don't know. We went to the zoo with my sister, and he was on a rampage. He was jumping off rocks and just being Spider-Man. He loves being Spider-Man, and anyway, he was moving around and getting in people's way and stuff. So I kind of put my hand on his shoulder and moved him off to the side because he almost ran into these people walking, and he fell down, and I felt terrible.
Like, get out of here, kid.
Like, ugh. And it wasn't that bad. It was just, he didn't even scrape his knee or anything, but for the rest of the time we were at the zoo, he was just kind of sulking and things like that. And eventually I was like, Benny, what's wrong? And I kind of pulled him off to the side. He's an emotional little guy. And he said, you treat me like garbage. He said garbage. I don't know where it came from, but it was, you treat me like garbage.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Can I have a moment for a Monday morning? What the hell do you call them? Monday
Belt fed
Mondays.
Yeah, go for it.
So obviously we both have some memory issues this morning and forgotten some stuff. So I went home and I got my stuff, and
we don't want to divulge what we forgot.
Well, I mean, everything. Even my son left his phone at home when he went to school today. So everybody's being forgetful this morning. So anyway, I'm on my way back, and I'm trying to make a left across Manchester Road to come back to work. And like 8 people turned right to come down the road in front of the range, and not a single one of them used a damn blinker. It just annoys the hell. I could have gone I had many opportunities to go, except I didn't think they were turning because they didn't use a freaking blinker.
Would you trust it?
I would if the blinker was on and I saw them, the rate of speed change, then sure.
I've been foiled by that before. I was making a left out onto a street, and this car that I would have had to cross in front of slowed down with their blinker on and started turning onto the street that I was. Well, so I went, and they decided the last second to keep going, and so they T-boned us. Yeah, they T-boned us, and they started, oh my god, freaking out, called the ambulance. This was like, my car barely moved, like it was under a 5-mile-per-hour collision. And so one of them left in the ambulance, like it was a whole ordeal.
Oh boy.
Court comes along, and I didn't hire an attorney or anything. I went into court. I made a big old poster board with pictures and everything.
I could totally see you
walked
doing
into
that.
the prosecutor. Me and Nick did this. It was It was hilarious. We walked in to talk to the, I don't know, I guess the prosecutor, whoever it is, and he like looked at us like we had 3 heads, and
Like, what are you doing?
But you could clearly see that they had every intention on turning, and there was no reason for them to keep going, and this was a total ploy to get money. So they waived the charges. I didn't even pay court costs. It was
Did they say that?
glorious.
They say, boop.
Yeah, he did. He booped
They're gone.
me on the nose. He's like, "You shall be free." Anyway.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
David, good morning.
Hi, David. Okay, so what are we talking about today?
I don't know. You chose it. I just typed it, but I don't even remember what the heck I typed. Oh, don't make assumptions about
Bad guys?
bad. What if it's a bad girl?
I guess they could be even. Well, actually, that is a really good point, though.
I know. That's why I said it, because I'm smart.
That's
so.
not on my list. That's really important, actually, because
What's not on your list? That they're not
That-
always men?
yes, the assumption that it would be a man for sure.
Yeah.
Because
that should be on your list.
I know.
So why don't you put it on your list? Can you add it to your list, or is your list uneditable? Lou, good morning, sir.
Hello. Good morning. Yes, I am very silly, especially today. We did do striking today, so that absolutely makes me a threat now because I know how to punch people in the face. I almost punched you in the face a couple times.
You did almost punch me in the face a couple times.
Glorious.
That's okay. It would have been.
But there is a ploy out there, and actually,
Your whole damn family. I mean, it's like everybody.
I know because my family's awesome. So, hi, Mom.
Thank you, David. Add it to the list, Liz.
Just let me talk.
Oh.
So actually, this was one of my mom's neighbors. I don't know if this was what was really happening, but I see this all the time on these Ring doorbell footage, and oh my gosh, if you guys look up Doorbell Mania or one of those channels where they just post like Ring doorbell footage, it's unbelievable. But there are so many times where there is a woman that walks up to the door and is like asking for help or needs something, and you think they're just this unsuspecting victim that needs help with something. And rightfully so, most people would open the doors to help somebody, whether it was a man or a woman. I think most people don't really think about those things. But there have been so many ploys with this. It's like, oh, this woman comes up and asks for help. You open the door, and then out comes their friend from around the corner. There was one of them that I saw where this woman did go up to the door and says, "Hey, I need help." I don't remember what the problem was, but her cohort started walking up before the door was open. You see her turn around, go like this, and I'm like, how?
And this has like, I don't know the right phrase, but I want to say like the altering effect on me in asking people if they want help. Like, I feel bad asking people if they want help because I don't want them to feel like I'm trying to take advantage of them, which sounds weird to even say it. Like, I think I told the story of when this was 6-8 months ago or something, where a young lady's car was dead. I went to school to pick up my boys, and I saw her in a parking lot with the hood up. Picked up the boys, turned around, was going back home. She was still in the parking lot with the hood up, so we pulled in. And like,
Who's we?
Me and my kids.
Okay.
Me and my kids, and 2 boys.
Good morning, Andy.
And I felt like I parked like a mile away and rolled my window down like, "Hey, if you want help, I'll come help you." Like I feel weird asking people for help because I don't want them to think that, well, you're this lonely single person, not single as in not married, but individual woman standing in a parking lot with obvious car problems, that somebody's going to come to try to take advantage of you. And I hate that I even feel that way. I don't know if she felt that way or not.
Sure.
And we ended up helping her out and got her car started and all that jazz. But God,
it's and it's not to say that if you're a woman and you're stranded on the side of the road, or you're needing help with your groceries, or you can't lift that big case of water off the bottom of your cart, it's not to say that anybody that asks to help you is going to be a bad guy or that they have bad intentions. Most people have good intentions and they're there to help. What you start to notice is when at least you can ask the question, why? And you can start to notice the things that make your spidey senses tingle. You know, it's like, there's something about this person that just doesn't sit right with me. You can 100% say no.
Yeah.
But if everything feels okay and you're not recognizing any big red flags, then accept the help. It's up to you. But the more you pay attention to your world, the more that you'll recognize these red flags. If you are just, and if this person is encroaching upon you and disregarding your boundaries, and if you say, no, I don't need help, I appreciate it, I'm good, and they're like, oh, come on, just let me help you. Are you too proud to let me help you? That is typecasting. That is bad stuff. Or I'll just put this case of water in your trunk. I promise I'll go away. Get the heck out of here.
Promise, yeah. That's where I was going to go with it. Is, I've had that happen too, where I'm like, hey, do you want help? And they say no, and 100% I'm like, cool, no problem, and I'll just walk away.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what a good person would do. I'm not, even though I see this person struggling, trying to get in the car, and I'm like, you want any help? And they're like, nope, I got it. I really want to go there and just like, just that little bit will help me get it over the edge, and but I can't do that because that's bad. And if you should feel okay to tell somebody no. I know we're kind of getting off topic here, but
no, this is all pertinent information.
You should feel 100% comfortable in telling somebody no, and if you're the person asking that individual for help, you should be 100% okay in hearing the word, no, I got it.
Absolutely.
And just moving on.
Omar, I think I took a class with you a long time ago out in Hillsboro. Let me know. But he says you've got to profile people these days just like military or police professionals. Just me. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Lou says it's just the principle that it's tough to be a good Samaritan in today's day and age, but we are facing times where it is needed more than ever. And that's right.
Yeah, it really is. And I had it happen where I was helping another guy. This was last winter. Somebody pulled into Aldi and had a flat tire. And it was an older lady, and there was already somebody helping change the tire. And I went up to him and I was like, hey, and I felt weird asking him, like, do you want help? And it was freaking cold outside. I live like 2 minutes away. I can grab some power tools and an air compressor, and we can, because what it was, he had got the new tire put on, but the spare was flat. And I said, I can bring up all the tools and we can knock it out. And at first he was like, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, okay, are you sure? And he's like, you have power tools? Yes. You have an air compressor? Yes. Okay. So I drove home, and I was like, if you got it done by the time I get back, who cares? Like, I don't care.
Sure, yeah.
And it sucks that you got to feel that way about asking people for help. But I agree with Lou. It's the right thing to do. It really is to try to help people out. Now, that can
there's
be
the flip side of that.
Yes, that can be a ploy. Now, they're not going to be looking for somebody typically like me. Now, obviously, they have numbers and they think that I have something they want. There's only so much I can do, but I'm typically not going to be the target for that. You, however, are more so a target for the I need help, and then you go and start helping and get distracted by something and get taken advantage of. So that's definitely something you have to pay attention to. Karen, good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Good morning, Paul.
Oh, this is our first one of the new year.
Luke. Hi, everybody.
Yo.
But on the flip side of that, like, you don't have to offer your help either.
Yeah,
like if you're not in a place where you feel safe offering your help, you don't have to offer. Like if there was somebody straight on the side of the road or something, and I'm really not likely to stop and help somebody in places where I'm isolated. I've walked past a woman working on her, with her hood up on her car or something, and in a parking lot or something, like, hey, is there something I can help you with? Something like that. But I'm not going to pull over on the side of the road and help a random person unless it feels like really safe to me.
The side of Highway 94 at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's no other cars around or something. Yeah.
No. But like, also, if you have your kids with you, like, there's different circumstances that can keep you from giving your help safely.
Yeah. Well, you could in cases like that, if you want to help, is you could pull up and be like, hey, I've already called, the cops are on their way, whatever, something along those lines. Or I can call a tow truck for you, and You don't even have to get out of the car.
Yeah.
And if they start coming towards you and you just want to put it in drive and move along, then do it.
Yep.
You could even say, hey, tow truck's on the way, gotta go, and just leave.
So, do you think that just
Charles! Where are you? You're being beckoned.
You're being summoned.
Oh, there's Charles. Man, he just like popped up from he's like a little mole coming up out of the ground, like, whoop. Gopher.
Wait, what's that game we play where we whack-a-mole?
Whack-a-mole.
That's what we need. What?
I don't know. One of our people wants to see you. They said, "Where's Charles?" I'm busy. He's busy.
Busy. So is it safe to assume that just because you're in a well-lit environment, that it's a good time of the day, that there's cameras, there's public, there's all these things? Is that a safe assumption that you were safe?
No, I mean, it's more likely
To be safe.
to be safe. But is that an absolute? No. No, 'cause
Correct.
people can take advantage of that. I mean, so you think of how often you hear a kid screaming or a car alarm going off or just some, random commotion, and you barely even give it a second look. For one, my phone's up there. You're scrolling Facebook or something while you're walking into the store and you're not paying any attention, or you're on the phone with your significant other, like, hey, what am I supposed to be picking up for dinner? And people are in a knockdown, drag out fight over here, and you don't pay any attention.
And whether other people around you aren't paying attention or they're not willing to get involved because it's not their business, or they don't want to involve themselves in a potentially violent encounter. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people get in a violent encounter and people around are just watching or got their phone out filming the damn thing. So, and you can't expect other people to come to your help and your aid. And bad guys are picking up on this too. They're more likely to have people get their phones out filming, which wouldn't matter anyway because half of them are wearing masks with their hoods up and all this other stuff. And it's like, you don't expect the savior to come out from the bushes like you see in the movies and everything. And it's just important that you recognize that those aren't absolute deterrents to keep someone from hurting you or choosing you as a victim. It makes it less likely, and we'll just put it this way: it's fairly unlikely for you to get in a violent encounter anyway.
Yeah.
But the more things that you stack on top to make it more of a chance, then obviously you're opening yourself up. Karen says, my husband always says you have to evaluate your vulnerability. Once you engage, you cannot control how they react. That's absolutely true, which brings me to another point is, maybe it's just this person that just has their hands and you don't see any weapons or anything. They might have a weapon tucked away that you don't see, especially quiet ones like the stabby ones, and those are the stabby ones. Knives they terrify me, and it should.
Savior shouldn't come out of the bushes. That's creepy.
that is kind of creepy. As I said that, I was trying to think of a movie or something where somebody popped out of the bushes.
I'm sure there is
There
one.
is, of course.
I'm here to save the day. You're lucky I was in that bush.
Right. That's the stalker waiting for their turn.
Paul says Michael Jordan's father was killed after car trouble. I had a buddy of mine I was in the Marine Corps with that stopped on the side of the highway to help somebody on a busy interstate and was shot and killed in the middle of the day. Just trying to help somebody that was stranded.
I mean, we've had students come in and say, this happened in broad daylight, at my house, at my work, in the parking lot. Like, that stuff, it's just not a reason for you to be like, I'm fine. It's totally fine. There's cameras everywhere. It's broad daylight, blah, blah, blah. So you don't want to completely diminish those things. In the weapon thing, like I said, there has been multiple times where people pull knives out of their pockets or their waistband to engage after someone punched them in the face, and the person that started the fight to begin with, thinking that this was just a fist fight over a couple harsh words, realized that now their life is on the line, and if a knife comes out, you're getting cut. Like, period. It's a very, very, very dangerous altercation, and people have pocket knives. People have knives on them all the time, and it's just a matter of who's willing to use it, and you just never know. It's very quiet, and yeah. So. You also have to consider that they're not necessarily predictable. You know, what you think a bad guy is willing to hurt you for, that's not you.
Yeah.
That bad guy is not a reflection of you and human nature in society. That is an anomaly. That is someone who does things for reasons that are bad, and they choose to make these decisions because that's their life. That's not your life, so you can't put yourself in their shoes like that and expect them to make the same decisions that you would.
To say there's no way that person will punch me in the face just to take my cell phone. There's no way that'll happen. Well, that's because you wouldn't do it. Doesn't mean that there's not plenty of people that would.
We were watching Spider-Man, go figure, the other night, and it's the one with Venom and the Sand guy. And the Sand guy actually killed Peter Parker's uncle. But he was doing that, he was trying to, I don't know, robbing a place for money.
Is that his name, the Sand guy?
I don't remember. No, it was Marco.
How do you
Flint
not know?
Marco Flint or something like that.
Benny
Anyway,
would be very disappointed.
I know. I usually fall asleep. But anyway, so Flint Marco, that's the name. So this Flint Marco guy, him and his buddy went to go rob this place and steal all this money, and one of the reasons why he needed this money was to pay for his dying daughter's medical expenses. He is not fundamentally a bad person, and this is something we're trying to explain to my son right now because he thinks there's good guys and bad guys. That is not the case. Yeah. There are people that do bad things for a variety of reasons, and what priority they put hurting somebody else. Man, let's not Sand guy. But the Sandman helps you go to sleep. This, I guess, is kind of the same. Anyway. Squirrels. But the point is what people are willing to get violent for is unbeknownst to you and might be at a different priority level than you. So don't always assume that you know and expect what they're going to do. What is your level of expectation? Where does that come from? What's your baseline of violence? What makes you think that they're going to do this for this reason? Really think about that, because if your baseline of violence comes from the movies and the media and all this other stuff, then you can't know what to expect. Look at this guy that drove through New Orleans. Just actively took out 15 people killed 15 people. There's 35 more people injured just from driving down the street, turned right in front of a cop car. There was no desire for him to live through this whatsoever. So therefore he did everything possible to hurt as many people as possible. That's not something that you can understand. That's why you can't just diminish, somebody wouldn't do that. There's a cop right there. It's get out of here. That's not the case. So.
That was his name.
Was it? Sandman? Well, you probably know better than I would, so. My Aunt Dew's watching too, see? It won't happen like it does in the movie or in The Way You Train. And another thing is...
I love you, and I'm sorry to cut you off, so remember what you're trying to say. You always say that it's not like the movies and that there's going to be lead-up music and fog on the ground, so you don't know when the bad thing's going to happen. And that is what you see in the movies. All of a sudden you feel this intense music to make you feel a certain way that something's about to happen. You don't get that.
Yeah.
You don't get that.
And the body language that you see in the movies, you can tell when there's something coming, right? We've been talking to Benny about this too. It's Benny, do you hear that music? What do you think's about to happen? And so he'll start thinking about it, and we start using this as predictory things for him to know what's coming next. But the point is there's so many things that play with your brain. There's a reason why, especially the Marvel movies, are so popular, because they give you all kinds of feelings about what's going to happen in the build up and all the suspense and everything. But if all you know is to look for these big grandiose behaviors, like these actors explicitly making these big body language gestures in the movies because they're actors and they're trying to give you that sense of feeling of what's coming and that irony and that suspense, when you look for that in real life, you're going to be wrong, because it's not as dramatic. Since I've started diving into body language and everything, when I watch a movie like a Marvel movie, I'm like, oh my god, it's so intense. So, hold on. Oh, I gotta go grab my item that I forgot. Oh, never mind. 15 minutes. So this stuff's my jam. I love this stuff so much. The behavior stuff and you're not looking for little tiny things. You take in a big baseline of the environment and the people in that environment. Like this morning, we were walking out from the gym, and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, and there's a Hobby Lobby, and Schnucks, I think, is the only thing open. Pretty much everything else in the plaza is closed. As we were walking out, there's a gentleman walking up towards Hobby Lobby, and he was walking really slow, not with purpose, and then he stopped and kind of turned around and moseyed back in the parking lot a little bit. If I was by myself, I would go back inside, and I would say, hey, would you walk me out? Or I would ask somebody else to go out with me, because that is abnormal behavior. Now, he was probably just the manager opening up Hobby Lobby, probably, and that's fine. I didn't go over and punch him in the face or draw my gun on him. So the point is get curious and pay attention to your world, because if you're on your phone walking out to the car checking your emails, then you might not have noticed that, and that could have been somebody that was waiting for you to come out of the gym.
Don't be afraid to do that and turn around
100%.
And go inside. I mean, at a jiu-jitsu gym, it's really easy to find somebody to walk you outside. Like, all right, let's go. But
Right.
at Schnucks, right? And you're walking out, and you get that. You see somebody hovering around your car. You just go back inside and tell the manager, like, hey, there's somebody out there that's just making me feel uncomfortable. And, either they'll walk you out, if they're comfortable doing that, or they'll get somebody else in the store to do it, or they'll call the cops.
Yeah.
That's no big deal. What is going on with your phone?
I don't know. It's a new phone with all the new noises. So don't be afraid to ask for help. That's how we started this whole thing.
We got to start wrapping it up because you got a lesson in 5 minutes.
Oh, we postponed it.
Oh, I didn't know it. Never mind. We don't have to wrap it up.
We don't.
So you can keep rambling if you
Yeah, I
want to.
can keep rambling. I'm on it today. I have so many things to. But now I'm out of things to talk about. Actually,
I think one of the big ones, and really what popped in my head when you had mentioned this topic was the fact that it's not always a man, that it can sometimes be a female.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw it recently with one of the school things. We saw it with the 2 years ago or something at one of the church shootings where a woman walked in holding her child and decided to start trying to shoot the place up. It's not always who you, and they're not wearing fatigues and a mask and a sign on their back that says I'm a bad guy or girl. They just look like you and me. And
it's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
And if you're judging based off of demographic, you're behind the curve already. It's behavior that you need to pay attention to. Exactly the point with the woman walking into the church with her child. Whenever would you expect that to be somebody to pull a rifle out of their coat and start shooting everybody? Well, she showed up late after the service. She parked in front of the door, and she came in with a trench coat. I don't think it was whether that was worthy of a trench coat. There was all kinds of these behavioral anomalies that at least it should have brought more attention. I had a student just last week. It was an older gentleman, and he had a black eye. And that was a tough place because I wanted to ask him about it because obviously the industry that we're in and everything, and he wanted to learn how to use a gun. And it turns out that it was a woman that beat him up after a car accident or a traffic issue, a road rage incident. They got off on the side of the road. She got out and she just wailed on him, and she took full advantage of him. And that is not what you would have expected. So it's not always a man, and it could be a woman, or it could be a woman, in coordinates with a man. It doesn't matter. The demographic doesn't matter, and what you think is right might not be. So the thing is get curious and look at your world a little bit deeper. Ask questions. If you got that person that's really pushing, wanting to help you and making these promises and typecasting and all these other little psychological manipulations, ask yourself why.
Yeah.
It's you don't have to assume that they're a bad guy just because they're trying to manipulate you. But why are they manipulating you? It could be a salesman. When I teach this in our awareness class, one of the things that we cover is charming. Charming is not an adjective, it's a verb.
I don't know what
they
that
are
means.
charming you. It's an action. They're charming you. And, you know, I do this with my students a little bit in that class just to kind of prove the point. It's like, just because I'm charming you, I'm trying to charm you into a comfortable environment to where I can talk to you about these bad things where you're not going to be uncomfortable with me as the person talking. And now if somebody else is charming you, trying to help you with something, and then they're also doing this and they're also doing this, why? You know, like, just ask yourself why. It's not always a bad thing.
I just heard you say that you're manipulative.
So, yeah, ask yourself why.
Yeah, and those can be hard questions to ask, especially if it's somebody that you know or you respect, or you have, even if you don't know them well, but you don't want to assume these bad things. And again, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad intentions. It's just something that you need to pay attention to and start trying to stack those things that you notice, whether it's an anomaly in actions, you know, things that are happening around you, or it's these little manipulations that you notice. Now, maybe they're trying to manipulate you because they find you attractive, they want to go out to lunch with you or whatever. That's all fine, and that's part of the game that gets played. But you have to try to discern if it's good manipulation, if that's a thing.
Yeah,
and
what level of
either is.
manipulation are you willing to?
What's their expectation from the manipulation?
Right. Yeah, for sure. There was something else that I was.
Go with your gut, and that's to put it very simply. And that's true. If something feels off, just freaking trust that feeling. Those gut feelings were not born yesterday, right? It comes from thousands of years of us dealing with other animals.
Yeah.
And that's what we are. And if you can listen to that feeling, and who cares if you piss somebody off, or you think you're going to make somebody feel uncomfortable because you started walking into a parking lot and saw them standing over there and turn around and walk back inside, and you feel bad about making them feel bad. Who cares? You're never going to see that person again.
That's easier said than done. And so one thing that you kind of touched on a little bit is thinking that it's always going to be a stranger. No.
Nope.
It's actually more likely that it won't be a stranger, which is a really tough pill to swallow. So just don't make that broad assumption, okay? And just stay on your P's and Q's. Man, I have been going down that rabbit hole a little bit too. Like, I watched this movie yesterday, like just domestic stuff, and man, domestic violence is such a crazy topic, but it was crazy. This movie that they had, I forget what it's called now. It Ends With Us, I think. It was a good movie on Netflix. Check it out. Anyway, so I think that's about all I got.
That's all you got to say
That's
about
all
that.
I got to say about that.
All right. Well, let's go away. If you guys need something, come see us, 14803 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. Oh, freaking crazy weather coming. So keep an eye on like our Facebook page and what's the other thing called? Website. And you know, if there's any changes to hours or any of that sort of thing because of the impending snowpocalypse, with as much grandiose that they're talking about all
Nothing's
this stuff,
coming.
we're going to get like a dusting,
Yeah.
and it's going to rain or some crazy crap. We're not going to get any snow. I hope we get a ton of snow. I like snow, but
I got a relaxed reminder. Stress seems high at the moment. You should relax.
so yeah, keep an eye on on the social media stuff for if any hours or anything changes with us. And then if you're students in any of our classes on Sunday or Monday, you've already gotten emails from us saying, hey, there's a possibility of things. So pay attention. Pay attention to your emails, because if we have to cancel something, that's how we're going to do it, is send out an email. We got a bunch of sold out classes going on this weekend. We got a couple basic handguns and CCW. So if you're in one of those classes, we will see you on Saturday. Spicy drills will warm you up. That's right. It sure will. Unfortunately, that's on Monday morning. I'm not so sure about that.
Not so sure.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, 1403 Manchester Road in beautiful Ballman, Missouri. If you guys need something, come see us 10 to 8, Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. Stay safe, be nice to one another, and we'll catch you soon. Later.